A quick disclosure, I earn a commission if you click the link in the description of this video and form your LLC with Busy. So, you're ready to start an LLC in New York but don't know where to begin. I'm here to walk you through the entire process, covering the essential steps and other important information you need to know to set up your New York LLC. And guess what? It can be done in just a few minutes. Plus, I'll share some helpful tips to make you avoid common mistakes and unnecessary fees. By the end of this video, you'll see how simple it can be. Now, here's something interesting about New York LLCs. They have this unique thing called a publication requirement. Basically, you need to publish a notice in 2 newspapers for 6 weeks. Sounds weird, right? But don't worry, I'll explain everything. So let's dive in and get your New York LLC set up the right way. Naming your LLC, the first crucial step. All right, let's dive into the first big step of starting your New York LLC, choosing the perfect name. This might seem simple, but trust me, it's super important. Your LLC name is your business's first impression, and you want to make it count. Now, here's something crucial you need to know. Naming issues are actually the #1 reason LLC filings get rejected in New York. So we're going to make sure you get this right from the start. First things first, New York has some specific rules for LLC names. You got to include either limited liability company or LLC at the end of your name. It's non-negotiable. So if you're thinking of calling your business Mike's Awesome Pizzeria, it needs to be Mike's Awesome Pizzeria LLC. And your name has to be unique. You can't just copy someone else's business name and add LLC to the end. The state wants your name to be distinguishable from other businesses. So how do you check if your dream name is available? Well, it's easy. You can do a quick search on the New York Secretary of State's website. It's free and takes just a few minutes. Now, let me tell you about some words you can't use in your LLC name. Anything that makes it sound like you're part of the government is a big no-no. So no State Department or FBI in your name. Also, words like bank or lawyer need extra paperwork, so maybe avoid those unless you really need them. And here's a pro tip. Even if the state says your name is available, it's smart to do a trademark search too. The state doesn't check for trademark conflicts, so this extra step can save you from potential headaches down the road. Now, what if you've got the perfect name, but you're not quite ready to file your LLC paperwork? Well, don't worry, I've got you covered. You can actually reserve your name for up to 60 days by paying a $20 fee. It's like putting a hold on your business name while you get everything else sorted out. Now let me share a common mistake people make when naming their LLCs. They'll choose a name that's too similar to an existing business, thinking a small difference is enough. But the state is pretty strict about this. Your name needs to be clearly different, not just a slight variation. Navigating the paperwork, registered agent, articles of organization, and EIN. All right, now that we've got your LLC name sorted, let's dive into the paperwork. I know paperwork isn't exactly thrilling, but trust me, this is where things get real. We're about to turn your business idea into a legal entity. First up, let's talk about your registered agent. This is super important. A registered agent is basically the official point of contact for your LLC. They receive all the legal documents and official mail for your business. Now, you might be thinking, can't I just do this myself? Well, you can, but here's the catch. Your registered agent's address becomes a public record. So if you value your privacy or work from home, you might want to consider using a professional service. Plus, they're experts at handling this stuff, so it's one less thing for you to worry about. Now, let's get to the main event. Filing your articles of organization. This is the document that officially creates your LLC in New York. You'll need to provide some basic info like your LLC's name, the country where your main office is located, and an address for official mail. Oh, and heads up, there is a $200 filing fee. I know it might seem steep, but think of it as an investment in your business's future. And here's a pro tip. Even though New York doesn't legally require an operating agreement, you should definitely create one. It's like a rule book for your LLC outlining how it'll be run and who's responsible for what. Plus, many banks will ask for this when you're opening a business account. So it's better to have it ready from the get-go. Next up is getting your EIN, or Employer Identification Number. Think of it as a social security number, but for your business. You'll need this for taxes, opening a bank account, and hiring employees. The good news, you can get it for free from the IRS website. It's a quick process and you'll have your EIN in no time. Mastering New York's unique requirements. All right, let's talk about one of the most unique things about starting an LLC in New York, the publication requirements. I know this sounds like something from the past, but it's still a thing today. So here's the deal. After you file your articles of organization, you need to publish a notice about your LLC in 2 newspapers for 6 consecutive weeks. One newspaper has to be a daily publication and the other a weekly. Now, you might be thinking, why on earth do I need to do this? Well, it's basically a way to let the public know about your new business. It's an old rule that's still around, and yes, it can be a bit of a hassle. But don't worry, I'll walk you through it right now. Here's where it gets tricky, the cost. This publication requirement can set you back anywhere from $600 to $1,200, depending on where your LLC is located. I know that's a pretty big chunk of change on top of everything else, but here's a tip to potentially save some money. If you're in a pricey area like New York City, you might want to consider using a registered agent address in a less expensive county. This could help bring down those publication costs. Now, once you've done the whole newspaper thing, you need to get an affidavit of publication from each newspaper. Then you file a certificate of publication with the New York Department of State, along with a $50 fee. Yes, another fee, I know, but once this is done, you're in the clear with the publication requirements. Now, let's switch gears and talk about something new that's coming up. From January 1, 2024, there's a new requirement called the Beneficial Ownership Information, BOI report. Basically, you'll need to file this report with the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, or FinCEN, within 90 days of forming your LLC. This report is all about identifying who actually owns the LLC. Now, why is this important? Well, the government basically wants to crack down on things like money laundering and other financial crimes. And heads up, if you don't file this report on time, or if you file inaccurate info, you could face some pretty serious penalties. We're talking up to $500 per day in civil penalties and even possible criminal penalties, including fines and jail time. So yes, it's definitely something you want to take seriously. But don't let that scare you. As long as you stay on top of it and file accurately, you'll be just fine. And remember, this is just one part of ongoing compliance for your LLC. Now, speaking of ongoing compliance, there's one more thing you need to know about. Every 2 years, you'll need to file what's called a biennial statement. It's basically just confirming or updating your business address. The good news, it only costs $9 to file. So make sure you mark your calendar for this one because it's an easy thing to forget, but important to keep up with. All right, so we've covered a lot of ground here. Starting an LLC in New York might seem like a big task, but trust me, you've got this. Remember, it's all about taking it one step at a time. Choose your name carefully, file those articles of organization, and don't forget about that unique publication requirement. Yes, it's a bit of a hassle, but it's just part of the process. But hey, I get it. Sometimes you want a little extra help to make sure everything's done right. That's where professional services come in handy. They can save you time, handle the paperwork, and even provide a free registered agent for your first year. Pretty sweet deal, right? If you're feeling ready to kick off your LLC journey, I've got a recommendation for you. Check out Busy. They're experts at making this whole process super smooth. Just use my link in the description of this video to get started. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time.